Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of FTT Chats. I'm Lisa Moyle, Director of Strategy at VC Innovations, and today we're really fortunate to be joined by Katia Walsh. Katia is Chief Strategy and AI Officer with Levi Strauss. Hello, Katia.
Hello, Lisa. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. Katia, I thought it'd be really good to start just with you telling us a little bit about yourself and your role at Levi Strauss.
Certainly, Lisa. My role at Levi Strauss & Company is probably one of the first in the world. It is a fusion of strategy and artificial intelligence. Of course, artificial intelligence is a tremendous capability we now have in business, in society, in organizations, in any industry. But what really drives the use of it is the vision for where we want a company to go. Hence, this combination of strategy and artificial intelligence is unique, special, and something that can be not just differentiating within our industry, but across the world.
Thanks, Katia. And that leads beautifully on to my next question is looking at AI and machine learning, it's quite clear that they're going to have a significant impact and reshape the way that businesses are run and business models. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about what the benefit is to the end consumer?
There are many benefits to machine learning and artificial intelligence, which is, of course, a combination of machine learning and automation. And the reason I'm so excited about this area, this capability, and I've had this expertise now of launching this capability in many different industries, including financial services, telecommunications, now consumer goods, retail, fashion, and apparel. But the reason I'm so excited is that it can be life-changing for consumers. It can provide a predictive, proactive, and personalized experience for each of the millions, if not billions, of consumers of a company. It can truly drive personalized communications, personalized offers, one-to-one interactions that were not possible before. We no longer live in the era of mass communications. We have been living in the time of one-to-one marketing, communications, even manufacturing. We are living in a time where you can customize something that you want, including generated by AI, for a t-shirt, or for a dress, or for a pair of jeans, and have it produced just for you, Lisa, precise to your specifications, for your own needs, for your size, and for what you want. So it's very beneficial, not just for what we wear, but also for what we want and need. And sometimes even before consumers know that they might need something, machine learning can help with that.
That's really interesting. And it's interesting to hear about that from the perspective of a retailer, where so many of the benefits that you outlined are what financial services are looking to do with their products. In thinking about the way that, and obviously this is a huge topic for discussion at the moment, that data is used and leveraged, do you think that individuals, consumers have sufficient understanding about how their data is used and how to protect themselves, or if they're sufficiently protected from, kind of bad players using their data in ways that they wouldn't want?
It's a very important question. Data privacy, ethics around data, regulation. I'm a firm believer that this is a capability that can be very powerful, but it has to be used for good. Like any capability, whether it's technology or machine learning or something else, it can be used for good, and unfortunately, it can also be used for bad. And that's why when I've set up a capability like this in financial services, for example, at Prudential Financial, or in telecommunications, for example, at Vodafone Group in London, or now at Levi Strauss & Company in San Francisco, one of the first things to do is actually start with a code of conduct for the people who touch the data, so that we never actually ever look at personally identifiable information. It is something that we're not required to do, but it is because we believe that it is really important to ensure that nothing ever falls in the hands of wrong players, for extra protection, for extra security. On the other hand, consumers do have a responsibility to also ensure that their data is their property and that they maintain it just like an asset that they have. In Europe and now in California, there's very helpful regulation, the General Data Protection Regulation was instituted in Europe in 2018, precisely with that goal. In California, the Consumer Protection Act also took effect in January of this year. This is very important. So companies have the responsibility to work together with the regulators, but consumers also have responsibility to protect their own assets. And it's not to take responsibility away from what companies should do, but we also have to be very, very careful as consumers.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. And it sounds like building those frameworks internally, whether required by regulation or not, are really important, as is the consumer education piece, which obviously is an ongoing project, right? Because the technology is evolving so rapidly.
Yes, and Lisa, there are some things that companies can do to help consumers. Also, I believe very much in the importance of companies using plain language, very clear, no legalese, making it very clear in plain terms what companies use consumer data for and what they do not use it for. So it's right there, it's direct, it's easily understood, because it should not, a consumer shouldn't have to get a PhD in consumer privacy or in data to be able to understand that, or to hold a law degree. It has to be very simple, quick, and easy. So companies have responsibility, regulators have responsibility, consumers have responsibility, but we owe it to our consumers to ensure that they can easily understand what we do and what we don't do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's beautifully put. And we see when consumers actually don't fully understand the picture, it's really easy to exploit their fears and their concerns. So looking at, you'll be joining us on the 9th of September for FTT Virtual North America, and we'll be digging deeper into some of the issues around technology and ethics and some of the technologies that we've discussed during our conversation. Can you tell us, what do you think are some of the challenges around ethics and technologies as, you know, as more and more of our day-to-day lives seem to be digitized, or, you know, we're engaging with digital products more and more?
Well, one of the challenges is also what is one of the greatest opportunities about technology, and it's the speed of change. Everything around us is changing so quickly. In the last 5 minutes that you and I have had this conversation, new things have already developed in computer science, in artificial intelligence, in various fields, in synthetic systems. Mathematics doesn't change that much, but the technology certainly does change. And it's what's exciting about this field, but it also makes it very challenging to keep up with it. It makes it challenging for regulators to keep up with it and adapt to ensure consumer-friendly policies and to protect consumers as well as companies. So that is a great opportunity, also a great challenge. Of course, another great challenge and opportunity is that we are having this conversation, Lisa, completely virtually. We started this conversation when I was based in San Francisco. I am now in Europe. You are in London. And because of the pandemic, unfortunately, that the whole world is experiencing, we were very quickly forced to become digitally savvy. That is also an opportunity. It is obviously a very difficult time for the entire world from a business perspective, from a health perspective. On the other hand, we have very quickly learned to adapt, and we have shown that we can embrace digital technologies literally within hours. It's amazing what my own company has been able to do within hours. And to see a 167-year-old company, Levi Strauss & Company, become entirely digital in the space of hours is incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing, as you said, what you can do when you have to do it. I've spoken to many people who said they had, for example, 5-year strategies to allow more employees to work at home, and then literally accomplished it in, you know, a matter of days.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Katia. I look forward to hearing more on the 9th of September, and I think it'll be a fascinating discussion. So thank you again.
It's my pleasure, Lisa. Thank you. See you soon.
See you soon.